All right, it's time for Sigma Fortress 1. Ooh. Ooh.
Let's split up. I'll go in first, and then you can slip in while I keep the main defense force busy.
You know what you got to say about that? That. All right, so we're in Sigma Fortress 1. Yeah, there's really no plot in this game. I mean, there is, but like they don't really explain anything. It's a MegaMan game, so. But basically, as explained, I think before, we're just little old MegaMan in the future. We don't know the exact reason why there's a MegaMan X, and what happens to regular MegaMan. All I know, and all you need to know, is that, I'm gonna need one of these. I'm gonna need this one. Is that, oh shit. Oh shit. What the oh, he didn't dash. Okay. Let's try that again. Maybe I'll just do the dash. I was trying to use the circle button to, because this is the X collection. I was trying to use the circle button to dash, as opposed to like double tapping, because I thought it would be more responsive. It wasn't. But yeah. Sigma used to be the leader of the Maverick Hunters, and then he himself went Maverick after he found Zero in a lab somewhere. So now we have to go stop Zero. No, we have to go stop Sigma, who has infected 8 other Reploids and turned them into Mavericks, which were the 8 bosses that we just fought. And yeah, he's a crazy guy, so we gotta stop the crazy guy. You know, typical plot stuff. Oh god, this is what I feared. Oh. Oh god, that was scary. Oh, finally. Okay, so yeah, that's the plot. That's what we're doing. That's why we're Mega Manning it up. And the reason why there's no real plot is because in the beginning, this whole time that we were fighting all these guys, who knows how long it was? Because you know, there's no like frame of time or whatever. But basically, what was happening was, oh,
stay back, X. I'll take him on.
Basically, what was happening was, Zero was looking for this place. That was some plot. That was some plot happening just now. It was all audio cues. All right. Whoops. Dream on, Zero. X knows he can't defeat me. My armored carrier is more than a match for his ancient weapons. I think in this one, I once again can't beat him. So it's just like in the first match where the first like boss of the game was Vile. Like where we can't beat him, and so he just has to punch us, and then, you know, we just gotta sit there and take it. And then he captures us again, and he's like, ha 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 ha. You are weak. And then Zero's like, I'm about to fuck his day up. And as he's charging up to shoot his laser, Vile's like, fuck you, I'm gonna self-destruct. And so he does. He self-destructs, killing Zero. What a worthless gesture. I can't be defeated so easily. So X, it's just you and me now. And X is like, fuck you, you just killed Zero. I'm pissed. And he's like, what the? Where did you get that energy? Doesn't matter. I'm gonna kill you. And then, yeah, we fight Vile. This time we can actually hit him. And Vile, actually, and I think I probably went over this again. It's kind of hard when I don't record these all at once. But yeah, Vile is one of the playable characters in the remake. And they were actually supposed to do a whole bunch of remakes for all the games. But I guess the first game, it was on the PSP, and the PSP was not very popular. Or was not as popular as they were hoping. And then it came out and it didn't do well. So they just kind of scrapped all that. And then eventually the MegaMan creator left Capcom, so it was just, you know, but his plan was to redo all these games. And yeah, to redo all the games and like retcon them, I guess, because you know how, well, in 5 was supposed to be the last one, and then they were supposed to do the Zero games, but then Capcom was like, no, money. So because of that, they had to like retcon and be like, oh no, X5 wasn't the end, when really it was literally designed to be the end. Like the final thing was like, oh, Zero's gone forever, and that's the end of the story. So you find him 100 years later in Mega Man Zero. So he was like, oh, well, you know, I want to incorporate, especially with like all the extra lore that happened later, you know, where they're like, oh yeah, like Zero and like Zero was a creation of Dr. Wily and the viruses and this, that, and the other, you know, like, oh, this guy's a dick. So that he wanted to incorporate all that, and then also just add a few more like elements to the story that he wasn't able to do originally because it was a Super Nintendo game, and it also wasn't like heavily focused on story. Oh my goodness! Can you guys just? Oh my god! Can you guys just fucking chill? You know what? This is where I'm supposed to use this thing. I forgot. So yeah, he remade the first game, and you know they all got voice acting and those little cutscenes before you fought each boss, and you know, like little things like that. And it was pretty cool. Like, you know, I wasn't as good as this one, I think, because the feel of the game wasn't the same. But it, you know, overall, it was like, oh, this is a cool direction of what they're doing, and you know, it definitely, and like he went all out. Like like I said, there was like an OVA movie for X1, and you know, like they went like all out. They're like, no, let's make this for real origin story. Let's redo this, and then yeah, it didn't pan out, and because of that, like, it just didn't, you know, that was the end of it. But it would have been cool, you know, for them to like incorporate, because I think even in some of the later games, like I think Storm Owl and from X4 mentioned Storm Eagle or something, right? And then like some of the other ones, they mentioned some of the older bosses from the first game, from this game. And it's just it's like a cool callback, right? Because they're like, oh, it's more interconnected because these guys know each other. They're not just like, these are the 8 bosses, and you gotta fight the 8 bosses to get the weapon, and then when you get the weapon, you know, like it's like no, they're not just, you know, creatures. They're like actual. Yeah, the one-hit kill. Forgot I had that. I could have done that to Kuanger, but it was a nice throwback, and so like they even in when they redid X1 and they were talking about like when you fought the bosses, they mentioned bosses from the future, or like, because you know they're all happening at the same time, but they still exist already. So you know it's like, oh yeah, me and Storm Owl, blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, that's cool, because now that they're all out, it's easier to tie them together, you know, so like when you remake them. But yeah, you know what? We'll do 2 at a time, because we're towards the end, so why not make them longer? This is Sigma Fortress 2. But yeah, it was just really cool, and I really wish that either he would have released it on a platform that was doing better. But I understand like why PSP, like the production costs are not as high as like PlayStation 3 and stuff. If it was on the PS3, it would have like not done. It would have been even worse. Like on the DS, I think they probably had like an exclusivity deal with Sony or something, so that's why they released them on that. This is Penguin? Yeah. Can I just... Oh, I don't have full health! But I do have fire. Yeah. So... It makes, like, you know, like, looking back, they obviously, they did it on that console for a reason. But, personally, I wish it would have been done on a different thing. Or maybe even just wait a little bit, because I think at that time, like, there was definitely a point in time, in, like, the late 2000s, early 2010s, where, like, retro revival games were... like easy money, you know, like they came out with MegaMan 9 and 10, Sonic, they came out with Sonic 4 episode 1 and 2, there was a bunch, there was like Castle of Illusion got remade, and like Sparkster or Rocket Knight Heroes or whatever the fuck that game's called. I think there was even talks about like Earthworm Jim coming back. Like there was a lot of games, retro games coming back for like sequels and stuff. So I think when he released it, it was right before that took off. So it wasn't like, you know, like as cool of a thing, because he was also supposed to do this was classic Mega Man, and that would have been fucking dope. Because even with Mega Man Powered Up, which is they were only able to do one, there was so much extra crap in that game. Like there was a Mega Man like. It was like Mario Maker, but for Mega Man, and it was on the PSP, and it was fully fleshed out. Like you can do all kinds of crazy shit, and it was a side mode of like a normal ass Mega Man game. Like when I say like, oh no, they really tried. Like no, they really tried to make like, you know, make them the definitive versions. They even like created 2 new Robot Masters, because the original game, original Mega Man 1 only had 6, and then later on, starting with the second game, the 8 was the standard. So they're like, well, you can't just have 2 missing. So then they just made 2 more. Like this is Eagle, I think, that we're about to fight. Who's Eagle? I think Eagle's weak to this. Like it was just, I don't know. Like I really wish that like things would have turned out different for that, because it would have been so dope to see them like. See him complete the games like or make the games that he wanted to make, like, because I think what happened was like they finally were like, yeah, dude, do whatever, like do whatever the hell you want to do. Like they stopped messing with like and changing things and kind of going behind his back. They were just like, dude, do whatever you want. So I don't know, I think it would have been cool to like see the final results of like, you know, that. The other thing too, I think specifically, not so much with Powered Up, though it would have made sense. Like with Powered Up, you know, it had all this extra stuff in it. With the amount of extra stuff they put in it, I kind of feel like they should have just, like, they had the groundwork done for. They had the groundwork already made for like a Mega Man revival series, you know, like they had the engine for Powered Up, and it had a fucking level editor in it. So like, what could have they could have just released like, and DLC at this point wasn't as big as it is now, where, you know, you get like whole fucking games and DLC or whatever. I don't remember what these things are weak to. But I don't know. I like they could have just done, instead of because I think another thing people were saying, like, oh, it's really cool, but it's also like it's only one game and it's full price and it's a remake of a fucking 80s game, because Mega Man 1 came out in like 89 or something. So it's like they're like, yeah, it's cool. It's got all these extra modes and like you can play as every boss character. You can play as Roll. You can play as Proto Man. Like it was ridiculous how much extra shit they put in there. Plus the like level creator. But at the end of the day, it's like it's just Mega Man 1. So like if they would have done like Mega Man 1 through 6 or you know, and I know that's asking a lot because that's a ton of stuff. But like if they would have done something like that or like a collection of games, I think it would have been better received. Because you know, like it would have been like, oh, cool, it's a remake of the whole series. Even if they split it up into 2 games or something, or like if they were just you could just get them as DLC or whatever. I think that would have been a much better deal, and something they should have done later on, not so early, because DLC and stuff was more common at that point. I think it was still in its infancy, and like people weren't like, oh, I'm gonna buy a whole new mode for my game. It was just like, oh, I'm just gonna get like an extra thing or whatever. But okay, I'm gonna stop. The next one we're going to Sigma Fortress 3, and then 4, and there's only 4 of them, so we're